In this video, I'll be showing you how to create the apartment from start of opening a new project all the way through adding the floors. So when we create new, make sure you pick Browse to go to the Fox Ridge template and open to start your project. As it's opening, I'll remind you that this is a video that you do not have to watch all the way through. Feel free to jump to whatever part of the video you need help with as you see fit. So after it opens, I'm going to go ahead and start out with the wall tool. As soon as I pick the wall tool, I'm going to go ahead and change my wall type to exterior brick on siding and my height to 10 feet and my location line to finished face interior. I'm going to click and release and start out drawing my first wall. The first wall was 28 feet long. I then drew straight down, again 28 feet. Across 14, up 14, over 14, or to where you can see it lines up with the opposite edge. And then I should be able to come up and click the endpoint and get this upside down L shape. My next thing was I get out of the wall tool and back in, and I change to an interior 4.5-inch partition. The first one I'm going to add is right here coming straight across. I'm going to actually hit escape because I made a mistake. Please make sure you change your center line to finished face interior. Our interior walls are 8 feet tall, and that will do just fine. So now as I come across, you can see that it doesn't line up quite the way I want it to. I want this finished face to be the same all the way across. So I'm going to click the wall and click the flip tool. It also now does not blend this in. So if I click the wall, I get the Modify Wall Tools toolbar. I can click the Trim Extend to Corner and pick this wall and that wall to create that corner. Now I can go back to the Architecture menu and get the Wall tool. Keeping this, I'm going to roughly sketch in the closet. This is not the size of the closet that I want. However, after I've done this, I want to make sure that I go into Manage and I go into Additional Settings, and then I come down to Temporary Dimensions. I want to make sure that this is on faces. I should only have to do this once per every new document, but I want that to be on faces. So I click OK, and I zoom in my closet area. I can now click on this, and it's telling me the height here. This was supposed to be 6 feet, so I can now change it to that. If I click on this wall, it tells me the depth. This was supposed to be 2 feet. So I have now installed my closet. To add the bathroom area, which is right here, I'm going to go back to Architecture, Wall Tool, Basic Wall, still every setting's the same. Click here, come out about 2 feet, and up to here. Hit Escape when you're done, or click over to the Modify. So you can see I have a wall to flip here, and also to blend in. And I will click this wall here and make sure that my spacing is 4 feet. I'm almost done with walls. We added a wall over here to separate the living space from the kitchen. It happens to line up exactly with this wall. So the way I'm going to create it is I'm going to click on the wall to get the Modify Walls. If I use my Trim and Extend to Corner, I'm going to actually end up cutting off part of this wall, and I don't want to do that. I'm going to use this one, which is Trim and Extend Single Element. The first thing it wants me to do, which it's asking for it in the bottom corner here, is pick that boundary. I want it to come up to the inside of this wall. So I'm going to click that. Next thing it's going to ask me for is what do I want to extend. When I get over this wall, it gives me that dotted line preview of this wall going all the way across. When I click, that's exactly what happens. I have now completed the wall portion of the apartment. For doors and windows, when you go to doors, please make sure that you change the door type. As you go to put doors in, there's a couple rules to follow. First off, for your exterior door, your front door, you need at least a 36-inch wide door. Your front door is the only one where I would use this one that has the side lights because those are small windows on either side of the door. I'm going to go ahead and put this in. You'll notice if I get too high up, it disappears. Okay? That helps you from trying not to put it in the wrong spot. So I'm going to click here. Now, normally doors do not open to the outside, front doors don't open to the outside like that, so I can switch that in. If I didn't like which side the hinges were on, I could use this set of arrows to change the hinge side. I'm now going to continue with my doors. Go to a single flush door, still 80 inches tall, but only 30 inches wide, because those are what I would use for the bedroom, the bathroom, and I'm going to add a bathroom access door here from the main living space. This would be preferable for when guests need to use the restroom. I'm going to flip a couple of these just to make the hinge sides work a little better. Typically, we wouldn't open a door so that it closed off our access to a room. That's why I'm putting the doors closer to these walls where they open towards. You can notice all of my doors are configured that way. I do need several windows. Fixed windows may work in certain areas, but most of the time we're going to use either the double hung windows, these are the ones that slide up and down, or the casement windows. These have two panels that crank out. You'll notice when I use a casement window, it actually shows those swinging out so we can make sure that things aren't in our way. I'm going to add one in our living space, as well as I am going to add a double hung, a fairly wide and large double hung in the bedroom. Remember to always click on the outside of the wall. And actually add a second window just for looks to kind of balance this wall out. But I clicked on the outside and you'll notice it puts the window unit on the outside and the window sill on the inside, which is exactly what we want. Something's going on with this window here. If I wasn't trying to keep this video quick, I'd go and fix it. But if that happens to you, it's probably worth deleting it and trying that again. It's now time to put floors in. This is where a lot of people needed some guidance. So when we get our floor tool, the first thing we're going to do, as we do with everything else, is we're going to pick the type. I'm going to start with a carpeted finish because I'm going to start in the bedroom. The tool that I have now lets me pick complete walls as boundaries. While this may work in some cases, it's not a great habit to get into. We're going to get into the habit of drawing our boundary. So I'm going to get the line tool, and I'm going to start right here on this endpoint and come across. You'll notice I get this pink line that starts to outline my boundary. I'm going to come up, and when I stop here, I'm not going to stop on the inside of the wall. I'm going to go to the center line of the wall. You can see, especially if I zoom in far, it's clicking and I can get to that center line. The reason I want the center line is for this interior wall where carpet in this area meets wood floor or tile or something else in this area, I want that seam to happen under the center of the wall. I'm going to draw across till I hit center, because again, for the bathroom, I'm going to use a different type of floor material. So I'm going to draw down till at this intersection I get center. And I'm going to follow this center line horizontally all the way out to the edge. And then this one down to the end to close in my shape. You can see it turns a different shade of pink and closes the boundary. If I hit accept, I now have carpet in that area. I'm now going to continue. Floor tool. This time I'm going to change from carpet to ceramic tile. And I'm actually going to use the rectangle tool because for the bathroom, I want to create a rectangle. It's going to go from this intersection out to the end point here of my carpeted floor. That gives me exactly what I need. Spots for this to join a different floor material, to join a different floor material here, and a seam over here. I'm going to hit accept. Now I have a tile surface. That doesn't have a pattern, unfortunately, so you just have to know that it's there. I'm going to use wood floor in the kitchen. Again, the floor tool, picking the type, wood finish. I'm going to again do the box because this time it is a rectangle that goes from there to the intersection in the center. Once I accept that, I now have wood floor in there. I'm going to make a small entryway also of wood floor. So I have to go back to architecture, go to floor, leave it on wood joist, and I am going to grab this tool, start in this corner here, and I'm going to create just a small little landing pad, a little entryway. When I click it, if I need to, I can also click modify and change this size. 8'2", kind of an odd size. I can just make it 8 feet. And if I click the other wall, 4'10", I'm going to go ahead and enlarge that to 5, just so it's got a nice round numbers. And I can go ahead and accept that. Now here's the tricky one, and you'll find this on a lot of things. I now have an area that touches 3 different floor surfaces, and it's going to have somewhat of an odd shape. So this is the one to pay really, really, really tight attention to. I'm going to go ahead and click floor. This one is a carpet, and I'm going to need a boundary line. Especially with complex ones, I like starting in a corner where I don't have to worry about where like a hidden endpoint or something like that is. So I'm going to start in this endpoint and come up to find this edge and that endpoint. It's very important to find the endpoint and not estimate that, because if you have overlapping floors, they can cause you problems. I'm coming out to this endpoint. I like that it tells me it's endpoint and horizontal. That way I know I'm good. I'll look for the same thing here, endpoint and vertical. I'm going to come over to here, but this time I'm looking for that endpoint again, because that's the edge of this wood floor. You can see that as that black one comes in. I'm again going to come down to this intersection. I have to draw across and find the endpoint of my tile floor, which should be right about there. You can see that it's lighting up to line up with this edge. Come down to here. This is that complicated part I was talking about. And then I'm going to close the shape in. Now, if I did everything right, I have this closed in shape and it should not turn orange. Orange is bad. Orange means something's overlapping. And I didn't. I lined it up just right. So this is my apartment so far. And if I come down in my project browser and double click under 3D views, the 3D view, I can see the whole thing. I can zoom in with my scroll wheel. I can move it with my scroll wheel. And if I push down on the scroll wheel and hold shift, I can even rotate it around to see all of the different things I've created. Right now, there's no furniture in here, and that's where this video will end.